Hello everyone, and welcome to One Man Stream. In today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to take a sneak peek into what we have upcoming in the next several tutorials. This is going to be a 5-part tutorial series dealing with an Excel basketball spreadsheet, and we're going to take you through it step by step and show you exactly how we're going to do what I'm getting ready to show you. This right here is my graphic that I use for basketball, and you'll see in just a moment that all the information is going to change, and we're doing that by just changing 2 buttons. And right here you can see the visiting team and the home team. All we're doing is over to the right of those columns, we're using those drop-down menus, and by clicking or by changing the teams in those drop-down menus, we're changing all the assets and all of our graphics in this complete layout. And that's what this tutorial series is going to show you. So you can see right here that not only does it change the information in this graphic, but it also brings in different assets associated with that team. And if you look down here under the scoreboard, you can see right here where it says Oldham County. Well, above it, it says Oldham County and county spelled out. But since we have limited area on the scoreboard, it says Oldham CO. Same thing for South Oldham. We have limited area on the scoreboard, so this just says S Oldham. And this is accomplished by setting up a group of information for each individual team. And as we go along in this tutorial series, we'll show you how to do that as well. This right here is our break graphic. This just happens to reflect the end of the game. It also changes the information in our starting lineup graphics, as you can see. It also changes the images in our most outstanding player graphic, and this is what we're going to be putting in the most time on, is this setting up this Excel spreadsheet right here. So we have a whole lot of information coming to you in this upcoming series, but before we get started, we did have a drawing a couple weeks ago for a Central Control Studio Max license key, and we did have a winner, and the winner was Sasa Flippin'. And I contacted Sasa right after we did the giveaway. Sasa did respond in the required amount of time, and subsequently I did send him that license key. So congratulations to Sasa Flippin'. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to be a multi-part tutorial series. So this is what we're doing today. Today is going to be an overview, and that's part 1. Part 2 is going to be constructing the Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to show you how we construct each one of these individual sheets. I think there's 10 or 11 sheets in all, and I'll show you all of those in today's overview. Part 3 is going to be creating the lists and utilizing VLOOKUP, and that's how we sort through the information in this Excel spreadsheet. Part 4 is going to be mapping the individual graphics, and I'll show you how we're going to do that as we get to part 4. And then part 5, I entitled this Game Day Setup Example, and I'm going to go through it step by step and show you that when I get the format for that particular game, how I go in and adjust the Excel spreadsheet to give me the information that I want. Okay, and this is where we're going to spend the majority of our time today on this Excel spreadsheet. And if you look up here, where I'm pointing, you can see the visiting team and the home team, and just by hitting this drop down box here at the end of the row, you can see all of these different teams. And how I set this up was I went to the website, the Kentucky High School Athletic Association website, and I just copied the list of all the teams that they had there, and that's how I did that. And I'll show you in just a moment. There's actually a tab just for teams. And you'll be able to see that just by clicking, I'm going to click Male High School right here, and when I do, you'll see that all this information changes. Now, the visiting team name is male. The abbreviation that we use on the scoreboard, like I alluded to a moment ago, it's a smaller area, so we have an abbreviated name. We also go with male for that. This is the team name and mascot, and then this is just the mascot. And then here is how we bring in that logo that we use for all of our graphics. This is where we get the color background that we use for each of the teams on the scoreboard. And this one is a blue, violet, or purple. And then this is the hexadecimal colors. This is actually what's pulled in to vMix in order to make those color changes. Now the next part here is the home team, and we're going to change the home team as well. So we're going to change this one to North Oldham. So then we're going to go up here and we're going to click Save. And then we're going to scroll down a little bit on that top line. And you can see now where all the North Odom assets are brought in. We have a team name, which is North Odom. We have the team name with mascot, North Odom Mustangs. We have the smaller name for the scoreboard North. And then we have Mustangs for the mascot name. And I have it broken out in this way because on different graphics, I need different pieces of information. And then we have the mascot for North Odom. Then we have their team color, the hexadecimal color. Right here where it says visiting team record, home team record, it comes up 0. And that's because I don't have anything put in there. But I can put something in there very quickly for these two. Let's make one of them 22 and 2. And let's make the other one 24 and 1. And you can see where that information automatically changed when I put that, when I put the information in the fields here. You can see where it automatically changed up here in this top row. Most outstanding player sponsor logo. We have a lot of different logos that we use for the different segments within this particular format, and you'll see these all up along the top. Scoreboard design. We also have the play-by-play announcer. These are also drop-down menus, sponsor images, and a lot of other information along this top row. And the reason that I have it all strung out on this top row is because when we go to mapping later on, this is the information that I'm using to map from. Okay, so you'll also see some other fields on here. You have one that's for weather. During football, we have a weather forecast that we bring in, and that is sponsored by a particular local business. So we'd have, what the weather conditions are, partly cloudy, whether there's a chance of rain, windy, that kind of stuff. Then this right here is a local scoreboard. This actually populates two different graphics. It populates a ticker that I use underneath the main scoreboard, and it also populates another graphic, a scoreboard graphic that we have through another sponsor. This next part here is upcoming broadcast. We show this at the very end of the production, and it's to give the viewers an idea of what we have coming up. And then this right here is where we populate our most outstanding player graphic. Now we're going to go to this one here that says data source for overlays. And this is where I bring in all the particular information for all the graphics we use at the beginning of the game. We have several graphics that we use. The first graphic that we use is for the visiting team coach. We'll have an interview, and while that audio interview is rolling, I'm going through several graphics here. I normally have a couple graphics about the coach and his history with the school. Then I have what the team's current record is. It's normally right here. Who they played their last game, what kind of point differential they have. And then I have a couple graphics here for the key players for each team. Our keys to the game, I put the information in here, and it's populated on that graphic. Then we go to another break, and we come back with the home team, what I call the home team package. And we have an audio interview with the home team coach. And then I do the same thing with the home team coach. I'll have some information about his coaching background, his record, how long he's been with this particular school, where he may have been at before. Then we'll go to how they're doing this season, how they're doing in their district, how they're doing in their region. Also, some information that we use is postseason information, how recently they may have won a title, or information like that. And then we have key players. We have two graphics for our key players for our home team, and then we have a series history graphic that we use as well. And you can see that's probably close to 15, 18, 20 different graphics we would have to make. And we don't have to do that because I'm just using one graphic, and I'm populating all that information through this Excel spreadsheet. And we'll show you how we do that as well. The next thing is the teams. If I go all the way over here to the end, what I did is when I went to that KHSAA website, I copied the information in here, and it brought in every team that's within the Kentucky High School Athletic Association. You can see right here where these are blue. The cool thing about it is if I click on this, it's going to take me to their website, and it's going to pull up their logo, so I can save this logo and then use it into my graphics. So you can see the setup for each individual team. I have their team name mascot, team name short. This is actually what we use for the scoreboard. Mascot name, and then we have the logo for the team. And you can see that this is a drop-down menu as well. And we have all these logos in here, and I'll show you where that comes from in just a moment. Then we have the team color. That is also a drop-down menu, and I'll show you where that comes from. We use VLOOKUP so that when we select a color, it automatically brings in the hexadecimal color, and that hexadecimal color is pulled in to vMix. I'll keep scrolling over. We have a football coach's image, a basketball coach's image, then we have a basketball coach's name, football coach's name, and all that information is automatically pulled in to the graphic. And you can see I only put the information in as I do the teams. So these are all the teams that I did during this basketball season, and then next year these will be ready to go, and when we have new teams I will put this information in for each team. You can see it probably takes me maybe 3 minutes to put the information in for each team, but then I have it. All I have to do is go to that drop-down menu for visiting and home team, click that drop-down menu, select the team, and boom, I have all this information in my graphics. It's a huge time saver. Right here where you saw the drop-down for the mascot image, that comes from this school logo right here. And I'll show you how using data validation, we create those drop-down menus. These are all the schools that I've used so far with their images. With the company that I'm working for right now, we have several different setups that we use. This one was for football. This was also for football. We did Oldham County football. We did Jefferson County Public Schools, which came up as Louisville football Friday night. And then for basketball, we had several. We had Southern Indiana, we had Oldham County, we had Jefferson County, and then Central Kentucky is this one right here. And then this is actually one that I did for some grade school basketball. And you'll see these are all the different sponsor images that we use throughout this setup. Scoreboard sponsor, key to the game sponsor, ticker sponsor. These are drop-down menus as well. And these are also being populated by by another tab, which is our sponsors tab. And we haven't got to that. I'll show you that in just a moment. This right here is what I use for the visiting team and the home team, and this is how I populate those graphics. You'll see up here at the top where it says player 1 name, player 1 number, player 1 position, then player 2 name, player 2 number, player 2 position. If you watch the tutorial that we did on creating our basketball starting lineup, it goes through this step by step and it shows you exactly how this was done. For this particular team, this is all the players on this roster, and if I go to this right here, you can see a drop down menu, and this is how we're going to populate the starting lineup. So I'm just going to go and select the first 5 players. You can see as I select it, the other information is changing as well, and that is due to VLOOKUP, and we're going to show you how we do that in our part 3 of this series, I do believe. Oops, we got it here and there twice. And there you go. And you can see how this information up here changed as I was choosing the starting lineup. The next thing is home team, the exact same thing. Bring the information in. Then what I do is I use VLOOKUP to sort through this information and bring me back the desired results. These are our play-by-play, some of our play-by-play personnel that we use. This is also in a drop-down menu that you saw on the main production right here. And that's where this information comes from. It comes from these play-by-play names. The next is a color analyst. It's a list of the color analysts that we use. And same thing on the main production right here where it says analyst. You can see we have a drop-down menu here, and it allows us to select our analysts to populate that graphic. Next, we have our sponsors. And this is what we used under the scoreboard names. This is where all those sponsors are brought in. And what we do is we use the data validation within Excel. We form some lists, and those lists allow us to just use the drop-down button and select the individual sponsor for that individual graphic. The next tab that we have is for the football coaches' images. And you can see we just have a few of them. Oh, no, we don't. We have a whole bunch of them. These are the football coaches that we used during the 2023 season. This right here is the basketball coaches that we used during our district and regional tournament. This next thing right here is the hexadecimal colors, and what I did is I just did a Google search for hexadecimal colors, and then I went and I copied it, brought it in here and pasted it, and then I actually brought in the name of the color along with the hexadecimal code. And sometimes I go in here, and when we have I have a team that's kind of teal, and I really didn't have a teal, so I was glad I brought in the colors with it so that I could come over here and select medium sea green, and that gave me the color that I wanted when I was wanting teal. Okay, that will conclude our tutorial today. This was part 1 of our basketball Excel tutorial series that we're going to do, and like I said, it's going to be a 5-part tutorial series. Today was the overview. The next one that we do, I hope I can bring it out next week. It's going to be constructing the Excel spreadsheets. I'll show you how we do that. And then we're going to be in part 3 creating lists and utilizing VLOOKUP. Part 4, we're going to map the individual graphics. And then part 5, I'm going to give you an example of a game day setup, how I will use this and how I will set it up for a particular game. So I hope you enjoy this series. If you like what we're doing here at One Man Stream, please give us a thumbs up and a like. Make sure that you do subscribe so that you'll be alerted as soon as new videos are posted. If you get a moment, please stop by our website, onemanstream.com. That's where we have a lot of the graphics that we built throughout this tutorial series, along with many of the vMix UTC setups as well. And as always, thank you so much.